Okay guys, we all know my thoughts on the fight of Volk versus Makhachev. I've given my thoughts on it plenty of times, but now I want to hear your thoughts about that fight and where that leaves Makhachev moving into Oliveira. So guys, firstly, who do you think won that fight? Islam or Volkanovski? Who did more damage? Who had more impact? Who won the most rounds? Okay, now to me, it was Volk. I believe Volk won that fight when they were on the ground and Makhachev was backpack riding him like a scared little child and Volkanovski was just smashing him in the face. To me, that is the damage that won him the round and that's what won him the overall fight. Now look, a lot of people disagree with that and that's okay. They haven't read the rules, they're just wrong. But that's okay, they're allowed to have their opinions. Lots of people have opinions that are wrong. Look who ends up as our elected officials, guys. But be brave and let me know if you think that I am wrong and let me know why. Look, at the end of the day, the scorecards were read out and Makhachev won that fight, good on him. But then how come he wasn't the #1 ranked pound for pound fighter in the world? He beat the #1 ranked pound fighter in the world and he didn't get the #1 spot. That was his first title defense and he nearly lost it. He was accused of being a weight bully and he still nearly lost to a shorter, lighter fighter. Man, Makhachev's legacy was bruised on that night. Volkanovski had a shot at the belt and it went to the officials and they didn't think he earned it. That's okay, that's fine. But at the same time, Makhachev had a shot at the pound for pound rank and that went to the officials and they didn't think that he earned that either. Now, we know that Makhachev felt cheated by not getting the pound for pound nod. He felt like he put it all on the line, but man, when you're a champion, you're always putting it all on the line. That's the point of being the champ. So guys, quick question before we get into this properly, right? Should Makhachev give Volkanovski that rematch? Like, he says, what does he get out of it? Or at least his fans say that. I'd say he would get a chance to shut up the Volkanovski fans like myself. It's a big risk, but again, being a champion, everything is a big risk. It's cage fighting. Go in there, put it on Volkanovski, beat the piss out of him if you can, and shut up the Volkanovski fans once and for all. What do you guys think about that? Leave that down in the comments, okay? Now, guys, can you imagine the anger he's gonna have going into this next fight, right? Which happens to be against a guy that he's already beaten, a guy that he knows that he can smash. Can you imagine the level of training his team is gonna put him through to plug up those holes? Can you imagine the amount of drive that Makhachev has himself to plug up those holes? I think Makhachev is going to bring all of that into this fight with Oliveira. And to be fair, I'm worried for Oliveira because not only will Makhachev want to win this, he will want to prove that he is the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, which is going to be so hard when Jon Jones is back in the ranking. Look at the way Jon Jones put it on Cyril Gane. Now that is how you show pound for pound dominance. Like even Volkanovski congratulated Jones and understands why he is where he is and claims that spot. Now you can say, oh yeah, but Gane has no wrestling. But after Gane's latest fight, the hype machine was back in full effect and every one of the UFC media were happy to say he might be one of the best heavyweights in the world. So either Gane is a great fighter or he is a trash fighter, and it all depends on which fight we need to sell this weekend. Either way, Jon Jones still made a top 3 heavyweight look easy, and that is pound for pound greatness. And if Makhachev's team watches that and understands it, then the goal that they have set themselves is really high, and the chip on Makhachev's shoulder is really deep. I'm surprised he doesn't have a shoulder injury with it. Now, Makhachev might not be the best pound for pound fighter in the world, but I am excited to see him try. And if he beats Charles, there is one way to prove pound for pound greatness. It's the same way that Volkanovski did it, same way that Jon Jones did it, and that is to move up and go for champ. And there is some interesting things happening there. Look, it could either be Colby Covington or Leon Edwards, right? Both are great matchups for Makhachev, but if it is Colby Covington and you have a Islam Makhachev versus Colby Covington pay-per-view, I mean, the highest selling pay-per-view in our sport ever was Conor McGregor versus Khabib. Now, this would be an amazing parody of that. It would pretty much just be some sort of weird replay of it. Like, I understand Colby's a different fighter to Conor, but just that trash talking and the fan base, it would sort of just be, like I said, a parody of it. It would be like a remake, you know? Then the question is, guys, who do you think would be a better matchup for Makhachev, right? Colby Covington's got that wrestling pace. Leon Edwards has got that long kickboxing. So, out of those two fighters, Colby Covington or Leon Edwards, let me know down in the comments, who do you think would be a better matchup for Islam Makhachev? I honestly do not know, because Volkanovski was able to hold his own in the wrestling, so I wonder what a bigger and heavier Colby Covington would do. Whereas Makhachev was able to hold his own in the boxing with Volkanovski. So both of them are an interesting matchup. Guys, let me know down in the comments, who would you like to see Makhachev fight out of Colby Covington and Leon Edwards? Also remember to let me know, who do you think won the fight out of Makhachev and Volkanovski? Should Makhachev revisit the Volkanovski fight? Guys, if you've been enjoying these videos, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you all on the next one.